So here we are at Compulsion 2013. In front of me is a man with some very interesting masks, but he is going to give you more information about those awesome masks rather than me. So why, for our listeners out there, why don't you introduce yourself and what you do?
Hi, I'm David-Elliot Mumford. I come from Cardiff. I spent a long time in Oxford. I'm an illustrator, freelance, and mostly bum. But I irregularly run, or I say irregularly, we try to run about 4 or 6 times a year at the moment, the live roleplay game Ornithocracy. Ornithocracy is quite a unique game, and I don't mean that in a come to it because it's different, you guys. I mean in the fact that there's no other game which serves a sort of niche we do. On one hand, it's got the setting of, the setting is that it's the early 20th century currently, and it's got this very Neil Gaiman Chaucer sort of feel to it. When people dream, their souls rise into the air, and what the players play are bird spirits, who nip and peck all these sort of dreams and emotions in order to harvest them. It's just, like I say, it's very Chaucer sort of idea. Emotions are very important to these birds, and they sort of thrive off them. They use it in their spell casting, which we call singing or birdsong, which influences the universe, changes it in slight ways. And that's what the players are doing. They're vying over human souls, human emotion, and human dreamers themselves in order to change not only the outlook for their world, the dream, but for the dreamer's world. And it's one ongoing big story. It's got a big focus on storytelling and reward for players. It's not a game that focuses much on the stats. There are stats, there's a system, there had to be, otherwise it would just be pure freeform, which wouldn't cater for what we were going for. But instead there's a high ref yield in the fact that I pretty much have to get involved in everything. And once I do, though, players are constantly rewarded, constantly affirmed that they are doing a good job, because the world relies on players' actions, on players' input. So the game expands based on that. Every single thing a player does, whether it be from your standard bravado killing to bringing up a point, to even inaction, sometimes has really strong effects on the world. And one of the things we do to help influence and bring interest in this is link it to 20th century events. So everything has a repercussion people can go home and research or they know about. So it's like I said, it's a pretty specific niche, but we have something like 200 members, so
wow.
Can't be that specific. Yeah, I know. I was not expecting that.
Awesome. So how long has your LARP been running for? Has it been a couple of years, a couple of months, a couple of days?
We've been running it, since December 2011.
Wow, okay.
We've had 4 major events, and this will be the 3rd small event. We usually name the large events after things from an opera, so we had an overture, now we have acts, although we're about to come to an interlude. And we have scenes for the smaller events. So this is, for what I'm doing today, is scene 0, to make sure that there's not too much, to make sure that the new players don't feel that they need to bring too much in, but also to include it in the universe of the game. It will have big repercussions. So
nice. So where do these events take place? In the UK, in France, in?
Oh, I wish it was France. I wish it was here, actually. I've absolutely fallen in love with Edinburgh. It's beautiful, so it's all your fault, Liz.
Sorry.
No, it's not Liz's fault. It is usually running in Oxford. Although I do plan to move it around the country. I think here's a good example, because last time I checked, Edinburgh is not Oxford.
Correct.
We're doing one in Durham in June, which I've just signed up for. So yeah, that's supposed to be a small event, but I've got the funniest feeling that there's going to be a lot of people there. So.
Nice. And so, okay, say I want to make a character. I've said yes, I want to go make a character. What do I need to do? What information do I need as a player to get started?
Well, we have on the website, which is a blogspot page, so it's not brilliant, I'm afraid. Sorry, Helen. It's quite comprehensive. Ornithocracy.blogspot.com, which I'll come back to later, has on it several pages linked off. There is a page called Character Gen. If you looked at that, it would tell you that in order to make a character, go look at the coteries page. You go on coteries and you have a look, and the coteries are the different factions in the game. They are mostly based on different families of birds and their interactions in the real world. So you've got the most noble and ancient house of Raptor, who are your Gormenghast nobles. You have the Morning Vale, which are your gothy artistic corvids. The Dirt, which are your progressive scientific pigeons. The White Hand, which are mostly sort of anti-war theocracy doves, but splintered off from them as a Felamite faction, if you know your 20th century occult. Basically proto-hippies, called the Pillars of Light. And it goes on like this. Currently you've got about 12 factions. So you look through them and you find a bird you like, because the birds are in castes. Each of the different kind of birds in the real world is a caste of winged. The people are called winged. Humans are referred to as dreamers. We don't usually throw the term bird around unless it's sarcastic. Bird. But you find what you like. And you go, I like that. And it says on there what your character is probably going to be, what's going to be expected of your character, what your character can do. And then once you've submitted that with a name, we give you an option of a history, which is an extra little bonus stat / background bit to help influence your character. And we tell you what songs you have, songs being spells. And so you can play around with that. The other way is just to find a bird you like, search it and find it. If you just search Ornithocracy and then the word on Google, it should, like Ornithocracy eagle or Ornithocracy barn owl, that should come up quite easily, because I don't think there's anything else in the world that uses that made up word, so.
Cool. And just for kind of, is it PvP, PvE, or is it just kind of more less about the fighting each other? Is there any fighting in the game?
There is. Disagreements, because, okay, it's backtracking a bit. One of the main things for the game is that it's quite political, because your factions, you are disputing each other and trying to make arguments over certain things. It's been quite lax so far, but it's going to heat up. One of the big things here is, because it's a parliament, it's quite clandestine. So if you have a disagreement with someone, you duel them, and whether this is by blade, as in you and your opponent either themselves fight, or you have seconds to fight for you, and the win of the fight is clearly the victor of the argument. That can be to first blood, or until mercy, or until death. Or there's a duel by beak, which can take a few forms. That is, most people have done it by debate. Some people have done it by your mama jokes, and we have had the start of rap battles, which is pretty cool, because that's what it was originally written as. So
nice.
So yeah, that's kind of how disagreements are sorted. There's a fair amount of combat, but non-combat characters have, I would say, a lot more to do than combat characters. And combat characters can still obviously roleplay, and that's a big thing of the setting and the system. I hate the term system. I just want to say game. System makes it sound like it's just a big pile of maths. I hate maths so much.
Nice.
Sorry, Steph. I was full of in-jokes today. I'm so sorry. I'm just so tired. Making excuses. Yeah, there is a fair amount of combat, whether it be from interfaction politics gone bad, whether it be from someone's unhappy god turning up and basically declaring war on them there and then. That's happened. We've had attacks from embodied flu viruses.
Oh wow. Okay.
Who looked like butchers. That was back during the World War I plot, so because the whole influenza thing. It's like I've done my research. Yeah, it's a lot like that. You get combat sporadically, but when you do, it can be quite brutal. We've had fights to the death against big Lovecraftian creatures for the sake of rescuing H.P. Lovecraft. So
cool.
That was nice.
Awesome. So, okay, so people have been listening, they've gone, I want to play in this. I'm guessing your blogspot is the best place to get information?
Ornithocracy.blogspot.com. If not, you can pop a message to me on Facebook. I'm David-Elliot Mumford. I'm also available on Gmail at ornithocrat@gmail.com. So yeah, that's Ornithocrat, ORNITHOCRAT @gmail.com.
Okay, cool. And obviously we'll have links in the video description to all of this. Thank you very much for your time today.
Cool.